The Penguin is a 2024 limited crime series continuing the story from Matt Reeves' 2022 film The Batman. In the movie, Batman must thwart the works of the Riddler, who goes around Gotham murdering people and setting off bombs. Eruptions around the city in the third act causes a flood which destroys huge portions of the city. In addition to this, there is a power vacuum in the mob underworld at the end of the film, which is where the Penguin comes in to continue the story from the point of view of Oswald Cobb. Mobster Carmine Falcone is a secondary character in the film, played by veteran actor John Turturro. Carmine is implied to have murdered Bruce Wayne's parents, and he also ratted out to the cops about fellow gangster Salvatore Maroni's drug operations. With Maroni in prison and out of the way, Carmine is now the most powerful mob boss in the city, with leverage over cops, politicians, and other people of power. However, upon being arrested for murder, Carmine Falcone is shot dead in a public execution by the Riddler. The Penguin is essentially a gangster show, with Oswald continuing to work for the Falcone crime family under Carmine's unhinged daughter, Sophia. The show is adept at working its way around the plot of the Batman movie, adding to the experience and acting as a companion piece of sorts. For example, we don't know too much about the aftermath of the flood in the movie, but the show delves deeper into the trauma and pain the event caused for Gotham's people. But there is of course a clear focus on the Falcones, and in spite of the show being set after Carmine's death, he is in the show, in 2 episodes as part of this series' flashbacks where we delve into Sophia's past. However, rather than be played by Turturro, he is played by British actor Mark Strong. But why? Well, it turns out it's got nothing to do with recasting an actor who looks younger. In fact, both men are in their 60s. Mark is in his early 60s to be fair, and Turturro in his late 60s. And the flashback scenes are only set around 10 years earlier. There's no reason why Turturro couldn't reprise the role. Well, rather frustratingly, for me at least, Turturro just did not have the time to film his role in The Penguin due to scheduling conflicts. Showrunner Lauren LeFranc has said, "Well, practically, John was just unavailable to us. He had scheduling conflicts and we couldn't make it work. But honestly, I'm so thrilled that we brought Mark Strong on. I think he's really good. Even though maybe in the beginning when you first meet him, you might think, oh, well, for fans of the Batman, I'm so used to John Turturro. And obviously John's a great actor, but I feel like the gravitas that Mark brings, it's different, it's very specific, and I hope by the end of that episode, you're just thinking, that's Carmine Falcone, and you're engaged in what Mark brings to it." So there it is, and it's unfortunate really, don't get me wrong. Mark Strong is a good actor, and he did well in the role. But it was a bad guy performance in a long list of bad guy performances Mark Strong has done, except in a wig and with shades. And he's not really in the show long enough to leave that much of an impression to give his version of Carmine Falcone a unique voice. I was really impressed with Turturro in The Batman. If Colin Farrell was the runaway dark horse of the movie, then Turturro was the sleeper hit. I mainly know him from playing offbeat goofy roles in the Coen brothers movies, so it was a nice change of pace to see him play a mobster, and he was excellent. He brought a real gravitas to the role, and you get a sense that this guy was a real piece of work, a real danger. But at the same time, there was a charm to him that made you want to believe he was as misunderstood as he claimed to be. The actor also has Italian heritage, so there is that feeling of authenticity. I mean, his cousin played Janice in The Sopranos. Whereas Strong, like Tom Wilkinson, who played Falcone in Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, is British. So those familiar with the actors might find it more difficult to see them immersed in the role, as it's obvious they're doing a strong accent. And in the show, it doesn't really look like Strong is trying to do the voice Turturro had in the movie. He just kind of does his own voice, with a mobster twang. Maybe the guilt of framing his daughter led him to become a chain smoker over the course of 10 years, leading to his voice to become like Turturro's in the film. Turturro had this soft-spoken approach, like a guy pretending to be friendly and fatherly, an aura that he doesn't need to impress or intimidate you because you're so beneath him, you're just entertainment for him. There's also a sleaziness to him. Strong was more menacing and direct, like he's trying to make his presence felt. I suppose we could chalk this up to Carmine in the show not being as established as he was in the film and therefore needing to assert himself, whereas in the movie, he's reached a stage where he's untouchable and therefore is able to come off as more laid back. Maybe it's because we have this knowledge that Turturro would have been in it had it not been for scheduling conflicts, but I can't help but feel now that Strong's performance was essentially a plugging of a hole. The Penguin is a great show, and to see Turturro show up would have been a huge bonus. Extra points for giving the show a connective feeling with the movie, which for the most part it does indeed have, but alas, it was not meant to be. So what do you make of this change? Would you have preferred to see John Turturro in the role, or does Mark give a strong enough performance? Do you think they could have worked Sophia's storyline without even showing Carmine directly? Let me know in the comments section below. Subscribe to the channel and thanks for watching.